It wasn't a criminal trial. There were no police sirens racing through the streets, no dramatic arrest caught on surveillance cameras, no jury deciding whether a defendant should go to prison. Yet the legal battle that unfolded inside a New York courtroom became one of the most closely watched cases involving a former and now current President of the United States. Welcome back, everyone. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found us. You're about to dive into a true crime mystery that will stay with you. Trust me, you don't want to miss a thing. Before we begin, where are you listening from today? Drop your city or country in the comments. I love seeing how far this amazing community reaches. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a chilling story like this. Let's dive into the mystery. Ready? Let's begin. For years, Donald Trump and writer EJeanCarroll have been locked in a bitter legal fight that has divided public opinion, generated countless headlines, and raised difficult questions about accountability, defamation, and the limits of the American legal system. Now, the case has reached another major turning point. The Supreme Court of the United States has declined to hear Trump's appeal of a 2023 civil verdict that found him liable for sexually abusing and defaming Carroll. The decision means one of the most significant civil judgments against the president will remain in place. But the Supreme Court gave no explanation, no written opinion, no public debate, just a single decision that quietly closed another legal avenue. Welcome back to Beyond True Crime. If you're new here, this channel goes beyond the headlines to explore the facts, the investigations, and the courtroom battles behind today's most significant criminal and legal cases. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. And if you enjoy in-depth legal investigations and true crime documentaries, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because later in this video, we'll explain why the Supreme Court's decision doesn't mean it agreed or disagreed with the jury's verdict, and why that distinction matters. To understand why this ruling is so important, we have to go back several years. In 2019, longtime advice columnist and writer EJeanCarroll publicly accused Donald Trump of assaulting her inside a dressing room at the luxury department store Bergdorf Goodman in Manhattan during the mid-1990s. Trump denied the allegation. He said he had never met Carroll in any meaningful way and rejected her account as false. The dispute quickly moved beyond public statements and into the courtroom. In 2022, Carroll filed a lawsuit under New York's Adult Survivors Act, a law that temporarily allowed survivors of alleged sexual abuse to bring civil claims that otherwise would have been barred by the statute of limitations. During the civil trial, jurors heard testimony, reviewed evidence, and considered the arguments presented by both sides. After deliberating, the jury concluded that Trump was liable for sexually abusing Carroll and for defaming her through public statements denying her allegations. The jury did not find Trump liable for rape, as alleged, but instead found him liable for sexual abuse under New York law. Carroll was awarded $5 million in damages. The legal battle, however, was far from over. In a separate defamation trial, another jury later awarded Carroll an additional $83 million after concluding that Trump's continued public statements further damaged her reputation. Trump continued to reject the verdicts. He repeatedly described the lawsuits as politically motivated and insisted the allegations were false. His attorneys appealed the original judgment, arguing that legal errors had affected the outcome of the case. That appeal ultimately reached the nation's highest court. Then, on June 29th, the Supreme Court announced it would not hear the case. The justices offered no explanation for their decision, which is common when the court declines to review an appeal. Legally, the decision leaves the lower court's judgment intact. It does not represent a new finding about the facts of the case. Instead, it means the court chose not to revisit the issues already decided in the lower courts. Shortly after the announcement, Trump responded publicly on Truth Social. He again denied Carroll's allegations and criticized the legal process, describing the lawsuits as an example of what he called political lawfare. He also vowed to continue challenging the decisions through every legal avenue available to him. Meanwhile, Carroll's legal victories remain in effect. Together, the two civil verdicts total approximately $88 million in damages. The lawsuits have become some of the most consequential civil cases involving a sitting American president. Even now, related legal disputes continue. Earlier this year, the Department of Justice initiated an investigation into statements Carroll made regarding financial support for her litigation, adding yet another chapter to an already complex legal saga. Whether those proceedings lead anywhere remains to be seen. What is certain is that this case has become far more than a dispute between two individuals. It has sparked national debates about the legal system, public accountability, political influence, and how civil courts handle decades-old allegations. For supporters of Carroll, the verdicts represent accountability achieved after many years.
For supporters of Trump, they remain deeply contested decisions that they believe were wrongly decided. And that divide continues to shape public discussion long after the juries reach their verdicts. The Supreme Court's decision may close one chapter. But the broader debate surrounding this extraordinary legal battle is far from over. This is beyond true crime, and this was the Supreme Court decision that left one of America's most controversial civil verdicts standing. If you found this case informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Beyond True Crime with others who enjoy in-depth legal analysis and true crime investigations. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, sometimes the biggest courtroom battles don't end with a dramatic verdict. Sometimes they end with a single decision not to hear the case at all.